Fifth story about the Voynich manuscript. The incomprehensible fantastic Voynich manuscript looks like a prop from some Hollywood movie. In fact, it is absolutely real. This mysterious manuscript was discovered in Rome by a book expert from Poland, Wilfried Voynich. This is a relatively small and perfectly designed book. This strange and unusual object is located at Yale University. The manuscript contains 240 parchment pages and measures approximately 20 by 16 centimeters. What is written on these mysterious pages? The text is written in an unknown, incomprehensible language. The book is full of stunning illustrations that wouldn't look out of place in a Studio Ghibli release. There are floating castles, disembodied heads, flowers that have no analogues on Earth, strange jellyfish-like creatures, and many naked women bathing in the water. In 2009, the text of the manuscript was subjected to radiocarbon analysis and it was found that the parchment dates back to the 15th century, which makes this codex medieval. When Voynich discovered the manuscript, it came with a letter stating that it was once the property of Holy Roman Emperor Rudolph II. For many years, various scientists tried to understand this mystery and put forward a variety of versions. With enviable frequency, various experts claim that they have solved the code of the Voynich manuscript. Despite this, no one has yet understood what this book actually means. The more people explore, the stranger it gets. The sixth story of the mysterious disappearance at Flannan Lighthouse. There are few things scarier than a lighthouse, and this is just a very good place for a terrible secret. People sometimes disappear, but when they disappear without a trace, leaving no traces, not even a hint of the reason, then a new legend and mystical story is born. The passions of some transcendental forces are raging in it, and there are always versions of aliens. The mysterious story of the similar disappearance of 3 lighthouse keepers from the Flannan Islands is precisely about this. This story has all the trappings of a mystical mystery, a stopped clock, an untouched lunch, and no traces of blood. In 1990, a helicopter crew landed on Eilean Mar, part of the Flannan Islands in Scotland. There they expected to meet experienced lighthouse keepers, Thomas Marshall, James Duquette, and Donald MacArthur. However, the men were nowhere to be seen. It seemed that they simply evaporated, leaving no traces. An overturned chair was found inside the lighthouse. The table was set. The food was untouched. The clock was not ticking. The ship's log showed that there was a terrible storm on the island, although nothing was reported anywhere in the area. The logical conclusion was that the watchmen were swept away by the sea while going about their duties in difficult conditions. But was this true? There are other, more terrible versions of unnatural forces. Some people claim that Eilean Mar has a certain negative aura that makes people behave inappropriately. The lack of specific answers helps to build many mystical versions and gives rise to more questions than answers. The story of how castles were built in the Middle Ages. When you look at huge stone castles, you often think about what great fellows your ancestors were to be able to build such a thing. Today people are building no less majestic buildings, and with modern technologies, the construction of many buildings naturally takes years. How long, then, did it take to build medieval castles in an era without cars or cranes? By the way, medieval builders had cranes. Despite the fact that technology has stepped forward, not many fundamentally new tools have appeared. And since antiquity, the answer to the question of how long it took to build the castle depends on many factors. First of all, it depends on the size of the castle itself and the delivery of building materials, the number of builders involved, and the availability of qualified fortification engineers. But speaking in generalities, even fairly large castles did not take that long to build. For example, in the 12th–13th centuries, a stone castle with a citadel, one wall outline and several towers was erected by 5,000 builders in 4 to 5 years. In the 10th–11th centuries, wooden dungeons with a palisade were built in a matter of weeks by fewer workers. Large stone castles with one wall outline were built in 7 to 9 years. Encircling an average city with stone walls could take from 4 to 20 years. It should be understood that castles were very rarely built in one sitting. As a rule, medieval fortifications were erected in several stages. First, the first outline of the walls was installed, then a citadel was built. All this could be considered the first stage of construction. In subsequent decades, after the completion of the fortification work, the feudal lord or his descendants could expand and rebuild the castle as needed. Many fortresses that have actually survived to this day bear traces of numerous overhauls and improvements. Today in France, the Guédelon Castle is being built by enthusiasts. The guys use only medieval technologies to build it. It has been under construction for 20 years and is planned to be completed by 2030. True, only 200 to 300 amateur builders are involved in this project. In the Middle Ages, not only the tax-paying population, but also slaves were rounded up to build fortifications. Therefore, construction took much less time than today. It should also be understood that medieval builders worked from dawn to dusk. They did not have any 8-hour day.